My name is Andrew, and I have a confession to make. I am a nerd. Now, it's taken me a long while to admit this fact, but it is true. And underneath this 175-pound, 6-foot frame beats the heart of a nerd. For example, I am a nerd because I know what a gerund is and how to use it in a sentence with no fewer than 5 semicolons. Nerdiness exists on a continuum. Some people are a little nerdy, while others are very nerdy. When I was a boy, I was called a nerd all the time. And it hurt a lot. Because it's never okay when someone makes fun of you for something that you don't choose. You know, we don't choose to be nerds. Writer Sheryl Sandberg once wrote, "You can date whoever you want, but you should marry the nerds and the nice guys. So ladies, take a look." Well, I'm single if you couldn't guess. However, contrary to what I may think, the world doesn't exactly view me as the most eligible bachelor. In fact, according to a study published by the National Bureau for Economic Research in 2023, both the job market and the dating market prefer Ivy League athletes to nerds. But change is coming with growing amounts of employers and women looking for less problematic and less dramatic men. This dog is about to finally have his day. So through the prose, Show Me the Way by Logan Hill, and My Response to Bullying by Will Wheaton, the poems and articles published by Cosmopolitan, the Economic Times, and The Atlantic, paired with quotes and TikToks about #nerds, a program, Revenge of the Nerds, because it is finally time that the nice guys don't finish last. Nerdy dudes are the most underrated dudes today, so let me give you some examples. Most nerds love anime, and most of those anime-loving nerds have watched the exact same one for over 1,000 episodes, about a group of pirates trying to find friendship and treasure. Let me repeat that. Over 1,000 episodes. You know what that is? That's commitment. I am a nerd because I've considered neckbeards a fashion statement. I am a nerd because I've been to the point of no return. I've drawn concentric circles around it, such that it looks like a target rather than an ostensibly ominous, arbitrarily signified limit on the Cartesian coordinates of life. Because nerds are awkward and unsmooth, they tend to be rejected and isolated by their peers.
Children have no sense of how life can flip. If you are 15 and mostly hating the social world of your high school, it is incredibly easy to conclude that your life will always be that way. But childhood is so closed off and institutionalized. Childhood is a prison. I wish I could tell you there really is an easy way to just not care. But the truth is, it hurts. But here's the thing you might be able to understand. As a matter of fact, I am confident you will be able to understand this because you asked this question. When someone is cruel, when they're mean, it has nothing to do with you. It's about them feeling bad about themselves.
I am a nerd because I have a slight obsession with ninjas, and I often imagine myself dressed to blend with the night while silently stalking foes from rooftop to rooftop and all quiet, contemplate the opportune time to silently strike. But this obsession comes from years and years of training, and I proudly proclaim martial arts as my nerd tradition, for it requires, nay, necessitates the equal application of my mind and my body. And like martial arts, nerdiness is a word which indicates a way of life. Nerdiness is, in a sense, developmental, because People grow out of being nerds. They don't become one in later life. Don't know where your man is? Well, yeah, what if he was a nerd? Do you know where my man is every single Friday night from 6 to 11 p.m.? He's sitting right here with his best friends playing a game that literally only exists in their imaginations and on this piece of paper. You know what that is? That's time management, strong, healthy relationships, and yes, ladies, role-play capabilities. One primary reason that could push one towards nerdiness is the presence of simple but profound social anxiety.
It's easy to conclude that whatever you are experiencing now is somehow a signpost for the rest of your years. If that's the case, why not end it?
Other kids call you a nerd because they don't get positive attention from their parents. They don't understand the things that you understand. And maybe that's because one of their parents is pushing them to be something that they don't want to be, like a doctor or an engineer. And because they can't go and be mean to the person who's truly hurting them, they take it out on you. I am a nerd because I believe that an apple's worth of knowledge a day keeps the doctor, boredom, and stupidity away. And for me, the quest to master the way of the nerd is never about pompous pretension or memorization of obscure movie quotes. No. Being a nerd is the affirmation that intelligence, integrity, and individuality are imperative to my spiritual survival. The really important question is what can be done to turn this ship around in order for your son to become more able to realize his dreams. He will need to get through his avoidance and confront his social defects.
Looking at life, I got the sense of how fantasy, comic books, and video games can be lifesavers, but the tragedy is that childhood, and more specifically, young adulthood, accounts for such a small, slender sliver of the human lifespan. It's sad to think that there's people who have only gotten to see that. If I gave you a suggestion like, you are a big purple elephant, now, what might you do with that? You might look at yourself and go, well, I know I'm not an elephant, and even then, I know I'm not purple. I may be wearing purple, but I know I'm not purple. And if I instead went, you are a nerd and you don't matter because of it. Now, they are both equally untrue. Both are lies. Now, why are you tempted to believe one from the other? So join me in your own personal nerdy proclivities and proclaim, I am nerd. And I proudly pronounce intelligence, integrity, and individuality to be tools with which I will carve a niche in this world. So throw your arms to the sky and never, never let go of this ideal of individuality embodied by your proud, nerdy position. The world will thank you.